Whoa, you are back. Welcome. So, I have seen a lot of people yelling at the smartphone brands for a number of different reasons, and I should say that most of the reasons are true and they should be yelled at. But there are some reasons that need to be addressed and which are not true and which are in favor of the smartphone brands, and I am here to address those the reasons. So, let's get started with the video. So, starting with the number one reason, that is the people yelling that the smartphone prices are increasing, the smartphones are not value for money now, the smartphone prices are overpriced, those things. So these are true and these are justifiable, and there are number of reasons for this, but I will address two reasons. Number one is inflation, and due to inflation every commodities price is increasing day by day, or you can say year by year, whether it be oil, milk, curd, or any sort of a commodity. Due to inflation their prices are increasing, and smartphones are no different, they are also a type of commodity, so their prices would be also increasing, and it is obvious. And second thing is that silicon chip shortage. Now for most of the people this silicon chip shortage is just a bubble that is created to increase the prices of smartphones or laptops or computers or whichever the things which use silicon chips or silicon as their component. But it is not like that, because you see due to this silicon chip shortage lot of vehicles are delayed in production. Most of the companies are struggling with their production due to this silicon chip shortage, or GPU prices shot up due to this silicon chip shortage. And since smartphone industry is also a big consumer of this silicon chips and silicon, so the prices are obvious that they should be increased. And you see that this smartphone industry is by far the most stable industry in this silicon chip shortage, because if you look at these GPU prices, those were very high during the chip shortage, and chip shortage is still going on, but the smartphone industry has been mostly stable industry within the course of this silicon chip shortage. So I should say that these things are justifiable, the prices increasing are justifiable, and I don't find any reason that smartphone brands can be held guilty for this. Next thing is that people are saying that smartphones are becoming downgrades of their predecessors, and you see this is mostly said for the smartphones which are priced under 20,000 or 25,000, and I should say these are true, but these are only in regards with the processor. Other than that, the successors of old smartphones are always an upgrade except the processors. And let's take for an example Poco X4 Pro versus Poco X3 Pro. The 6128 version of Poco X3 Pro was launched at 18,999, and the Poco X4 Pro's 6128 version is launched at 19,999. And with that 1000 rupees price gap, you get a 5G smartphone, you get Super AMOLED display instead of IPS display that was present in Poco X3 Pro last year. You get 67 watt fast charging compared to 33 watt fast charging in Poco X3 Pro. Yes, I know that the processor of Poco X3 Pro is more powerful than the Poco X4 Pro, but other than that Poco X4 Pro is mostly an upgrade, and it is only 1000 rupees price difference. And also since Poco X4 Pro has a 5G processor, so additional 5G modems are costly, so this thing is also justifiable. And nowadays if people buy a smartphone about 15,000 rupees, so they tend to buy a 5G smartphone, because in India the auction of 5G spectrum would be starting from April-May. So we are seeing a lot of 5G smartphones and there would be implementation of 5G, so most of the people tend to buy a 5G smartphone above 15,000 rupees. And smartphones which have 5G processor would be having 5G modem, which is a bit costly, and it is a new technology, so it is a bit more costly than the 4G modem. So it is justifiable, I would say. Now one thing that I don't think is justifiable is that the most famous 5G processor under 20,000 price category is Snapdragon 695, and no smartphone with Snapdragon 695 comes with 4K 30 FPS video recording, which is a real downgrade over their predecessors. But it is not the smartphone company's fault, it is the fault of Snapdragon or Qualcomm, I should say, because they haven't provided the support of 4K 30 FPS in their Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 5G processor. So it is a fault from Qualcomm, and you cannot blame the smartphone brands for this. So the third thing is about the ads and bloatwares, and it is also mostly said for the smartphones which are priced under 20,000 or 25,000 rupees. Now you can find those ads and bloatwares on the smartphones like the Xiaomi smartphones and Realme smartphones. Most of the market share is captured by Xiaomi and Realme, and you see that the most aggressive smartphones are also from these companies. So in selling the smartphones they have a very little profit margin, which is not enough for sustainability of the companies, because they have to put that money into R&D, pay their employees and number of different expenses. So they cannot generate that much amount of revenue which they require by selling the smartphones only. So they have to add bloatwares, they have to put the ads, and it is also not like that the ads cannot be disabled or the bloatwares cannot be uninstalled. They can be done in, I should say, most of the smartphones, and I should say it is not a very big deal. And people saying that the smartphone brand should give a tutorial on how to disable ads. Let me tell you that in Hindi there is a popular saying that अपने पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी मारना. Why would brands do that if they are generating revenue from that? Why would they tell you professionally or directly that you can disable the ads? And if in case you are saying that Motorola comes with stock Android with no ads, then let me tell you that Motorola also comes with bloatwares, and also Samsung smartphones also come with bloatware. So it is no surprise or no question that every smartphone under 20,000, or I should say 25,000 rupees, comes with bloatware, and some smartphones with ads also. So it is justifiable, I should say. So these are the three things that I should say are justifiable. Now I'm not supporting brands in every step. I do not support vulgar ads or low quality ads on your smartphone. I do not support removing charger from the box like the Samsung M33 5G does, and I do not support smartphone launching with Android 11 in still in 2022. And there are a lot of things that I don't support, but in these three things I should say the smartphone brands needs to be supported, and I'm not defending the smartphone brands here. What I just want to say is that smartphone brands are here for business and not for social work.